Trump met Modi at the G7 and called him a tough negotiator. But honestly, the real story is not the handshake, the real story is not the photo, and the real story is definitely not two leaders smiling for cameras. The real story is this: America needs India again, but this time India is not standing in the queue for approval. India is sitting at the table with a calculator, a market, a military, a population of 140 crore people, and a prime minister who knows one thing very clearly: friendship is welcome, discount is not guaranteed. Trump called Modi a tough negotiator. But the bigger truth is, America is now learning that New India does not come with a free trial. If you want India's markets, India's talents, India's strategic location, India's support against China, then boss, show the deal. For decades, the West looked at India like a large market. 1 billion people, cheap talent, English speaking engineers, software exports, pharmaceutical factories, and a country that could be praised in speeches but pressured in negotiations. That was old thinking. Because today, America is not talking to India only because India is a democracy. America is talking to India because China became too powerful. Global supply chains became too risky. The Gulf became unstable. Oil routes became sensitive, and India became too big to ignore. This is the part many people miss. America does not suddenly need India because of yoga, chai, Bollywood, or emotional friendship. America needs India because money has changed directions. Power has changed directions, and the world's risk map has changed. Look at the numbers. India US goods trade in 2025 was around $149 billion. America exported around $45 billion to India, but America imported $103 billion from India, which means America had a goods trade deficit of around $58 billion with India. Now tell me, when America talks about a trade deal with India, is this charity? No. This is business. This is Washington looking at New Delhi and saying, we need access, we need supply chains, we need manufacturing alternatives, we need India in the China equation. And we need this relationship to work because the old model is broken. America spent 30 years making China the factory of the world, and then one day woke up and said, who gave China so much power? Boss, you did. You gave them manufacturing, you gave them supply chains, you gave them scale, and now you are calling India a trusted partner. Very good. Welcome to reality. America's problem is simple. China became the factory, Europe became the rule book, Pakistan became the begging bowl, and India became the only large country that can talk to everyone and still say, we choose India. This is where Modi's foreign policy has changed. India talks to America, but does not become America's employee. India buys oil when it benefits India. India talks to Russia when it benefits India. India works with the Gulf when energy and workers matter. India engages Europe when market access matters. India competes with China when national security matters. And India keeps Pakistan exactly where it belongs, in the background noise section. Because let's be honest, Pakistan's entire foreign policy is like a broken ringtone. Kashmir, India, conspiracy, IMF, and repeat. Meanwhile, India is negotiating trade deals, building ports, expanding highways, exporting services, building defense, and sitting with global leaders as a serious economic power. Now, come to the G7 meeting. Trump says the India US trade deal is close. Modi raises the safety of Indian seafarers in the Gulf. Trade is closed. Maritime security is discussed, and the world should understand this carefully. India did not go there only to smile. India went there with issues, with interests, with concerns, and with bargaining powers. Because lakhs of Indians work as seafarers, because oil routes matter to India, because the Strait of Hormuz matters to India, because Gulf stability matters to India, because if shipping lanes are unsafe, India pays the cost through oil, inflation, insurance, imports, and currency pressure. So when Modi talks to Trump about seafarer safety, it is not a small humanitarian line. It is national interest in simple language. Protect Indian lives, protect Indian trade, protect India's energy routes. And this is exactly how serious countries behave. They don't only talk about ideology, they talk about shipping, energy, trade, tariffs, supply chains, workers, ports, insurance, and money. Because in real world, moral speeches are free, but crude oil is not. Now let's understand why Trump needs Modi politically and economically. America wants a strong India because China is not slowing down. China controls manufacturing depth, rare earth processing, electronic supply chains, solar panels, batteries, and industrial scale. Europe writes beautiful statements, but China controls factories. America has money and military, but even America knows that without a large democratic manufacturing partner in Asia, China gets too much space. And who is that partner? Not Pakistan, obviously. Pakistan cannot even decide whether it wants democracy, army rule, IMF rescue, or another press conference blaming India. Bangladesh is useful in garments but politically unstable. Vietnam is important but small compared to India. Japan is strong but aging. South Korea is advanced but limited in scale. India is the big one. India has scale, demand, geography, technology, talent, military might, consumer market, and a government that is willing to bargain hard. This is why India matters. America has dollars, China has factories, Europe has lectures, Pakistan has excuses, but India has scale. And in the 21st century, scale is power. Under Modi, India's rise is not just emotional, it is visible in numbers. India's total exports touched around $860 billion in the year 25-26. UPI transaction crossed 24,000 crore in a year with a value of around 314 lakh crore rupees. Defense exports touched more than 38,000 crore rupees. National highways expanded from 91,000 kilometers in 2014 to around 1.46 lakh kilometers. Airports went from 74 operational airports in 2014 to more than 160. Mobile phone manufacturing changed from heavy import dependence to almost the entire domestic market being served by phones made in India. Now, of course, India still has problems. Bureaucracy, slow codes, pollution, skill gap, manufacturing gaps, but the direction is clear. India is not sitting and complaining. India is building, and that is what the world respects. Not slogan alone, execution. Trump understands this, whether he says it sweetly or aggressively. He understands bargaining power. And that is why calling Modi a tough negotiator is actually a big statement. Because it means India is not giving away its markets easily. India wants tariff access. India wants respect for exports. India wants technology. India wants investments. India wants manufacturing shifts. India wants protection for its farmers and small industries. India wants its service sector respected. India wants visa and talent issues handled properly. India wants defense cooperation without dependence. And India wants partnership without pressure. That is the new grammar of Indian diplomacy. Earlier, many Western countries had one bad habit: praise India in public, pressure India in private, give lectures on value, and then quietly protect their own industry. America gives subsidies, Europe protects agriculture, China controls its market. But when India protects its farmers or small businesses, suddenly everyone becomes a free market philosopher. Very convenient for them. But New India is saying, thank you for the lecture. Now, let's talk about the numbers. New India's message is simple. We will shake hands, we will smile, we will do business, but we will not sign a bad deal just because someone powerful is sitting across the table. Friendship is not surrender, partnership is not slavery, and diplomacy is not discount coupon. This is why this Modi Trump meeting matters, because it shows the world that India is no longer a side character in global politics. India is the country everyone needs in some way or the other. America needs India for China. Russia needs India for energy and balance. Gulf countries need India for labor markets, food securities, and investments. Europe needs India for talent and growth. Global South needs India for voice. And even China knows India is the only Asian country with enough size to challenge its long term dominance. So when Trump says Modi is tough, he's not just complimenting Modi, he's indirectly admitting that India's bargaining power has changed. And this is the point every Indian must understand. Respect in geopolitics is not given because you are emotional. Respect is given because you are useful, powerful, unavoidable, and difficult to pressure. India is becoming that country, not fully there yet, but moving in that direction. And that is why the next India US trade deal is not just about tariffs, it is about the world accepting that India is not a junior partner anymore. Not in trade, not in defense, not in energy, not in technology, not in Asia, not anywhere. Final points: America needs India. But India also needs smart partnerships. So, this is not about being anti America. This is not about blind nationalism. This is about mature nationalism. Work with America where it benefits India. Work with China where it benefits India. Work with Gulf where it benefits India. Compete with China where India must. Ignore Pakistan's daily drama where it deserves to be ignored. And always ask one question: what does Bharat get? Because in today's world, the winner is not the country that gets the loudest applaud at summits. The winner is the country that protects its markets, its workers, its currency, its industries, its security, and its future. And that is why Trump needs Modi again, because America can see what the world is slowly accepting. India is not waiting outside the room anymore. India is inside the room, negotiating the terms.